Meet Kevin, the financial YouTuber that was making upwards of $3 million a month from his YouTube subscribers and even made number 8 on the unofficial Forbes list with the highest YouTubers of 2021, has since really gone downhill. And we're going to look into how he got to where he was and where he's headed.
The question everyone is dying to know the answer to. How much money are you making this year?
Oh man, probably gonna be in excess of about 22 this year.
No, counting stocks?
No, not counting stocks, like just ordinary income.
What? How?
After losing an estimated $12 million in his transparent stock and crypto portfolio. And he achieved this with only 1.8 million subscribers and 471 million views. This unofficially puts him on the number 8 spot on the Forbes list for the highest paid YouTubers in 2021, in front of the likes of Logan Paul, Dude Perfect, and Preston Arsement. Now this is a bit shocking because the three of these combined have 100 million subscribers and 38 billion views. So how did he make such a fortune in such a short amount of time? In this video, you will get the answers to everything, including how Kevin amassed such a wealth, then how he possibly destroyed his reputation with many by going against his own financial advice, following in the footsteps of the people he criticized only days before.
Folks, this ought to be illegal. This is absolutely freaking maddening. What you're about to see in this video is exactly how wealthy, rich, hedge funds, institutions, and suits screw all of us by turning us into their pawns and ripping us off out of millions to billions of dollars. This stuff ought to be investigated, and people like this should be in jail. Take a listen to this scenario here, folks.
So, who could be the next governor of California? According to one poll, the frontrunner is 29-year-old YouTube influencer Kevin Paffrath.
Just 1 year after starting his YouTube channel in 2010, Kevin got his real estate license at the age of 19. Kevin started out as one of the youngest and hardest working real estate agents in Southern California, often taking a hands-on approach, even creating an unsuccessful construction company used to remodel disaster properties. Kevin's wife Lauren can be attributed to his success as well. She revealed these things about Kevin.
I have never met anybody like Kevin before. He would get very little sleep. I would see him maybe like an hour a day. When he puts his mind to something, he usually succeeds, and he's extremely ambitious and motivated and driven.
But Kevin would not start posting on YouTube frequently until 2018, after having a decade of success during the California real estate bull market where everything was going up. As Kevin started to post more frequently on YouTube, his real estate content attracted few viewers.
Housing inventory.
Kevin would need to find something else, something bigger. Kevin decided that the best way to do this was to criticize and expose those in real estate selling courses or comparing his real estate strategies versus others.
Look, if you're gonna buy something from somebody that you think is reputable because they're making YouTube videos and they're doing really good at it and they've got a following, just do me a favor, do a little bit of research. Try to find out what's their background, what are their sales really, not what they're telling you.
These videos were his most popular. Kevin preached about giving out free information to help others. This started to attract a new audience to Kevin's channel.
I think today I've decided to quit. Seems sick of the baloney that's out on YouTube that says in order for you to succeed when you're watching these videos to try to get ahead, you need to buy some kind of course, and then when you find out it's really not what it's chalked up to be, it's very hard to get a refund.
Kevin was a transparent and genuine creator to his subscribers, giving out free information and vowing to not sell out.
100% free information. I'm not holding back any kind of information for some kind of paywall or some kind of paid course that's going to come out in the future.
But Kevin started to realize that genuine information usually gets few views. So in order for Kevin to make a business out of YouTube, he felt that he needed to sell a course for around $200.
It's true. I came out with a course on investing in real estate. The bottom line is, I think I'm severely underpricing it on purpose to try to get people started in real estate.
Kevin faced criticism from this move, but it would eventually fade away as his subscriber numbers grew. But this is not the only reason his subscribers are angry. An old video of Kevin resurfaced from before his investment guru era. He made a video titled, "Here's Why Stock and Investment Funds Are Bad." In this, he said that he knew nothing about stocks.
Because I look at this stuff and I go, I know what to do. Stocks, I don't know. So don't ever expect Meet Kevin to sell you a stock investing course.
$2,000. $1,000 is not the right price to help people get started. It has to be less. It's not fair to people. It's taking advantage of people. I don't care if I'm underpricing.
Many think that Kevin's name is now forever tarnished. However, could this just be another chapter in Kevin's master marketing course? After all, he did say that he wanted to become the Mr. Beast of the YouTube financial sector. He has been in the spotlight before for controversial dramas in order to gain more views. In 2018, Kevin had a run-in with the law in Florida for disorderly conduct after he trespassed on real estate mogul Grant Cardone's property. Kevin dressed up as Santa Claus and proceeded to deliver a truckload of poinsettias to Cardone's office. And this was after he made multiple videos of Cardone and other prominent real estate gurus with clickbait titles. After this controversy, a police report was filed, but nothing ever came of it. You have to ask yourself, what is the point? Is it simply to have views on YouTube? The answer is yes and no. I do believe Kevin genuinely wanted to help people, but he also wanted to become a famous YouTuber and sell his courses. After all, as he said, YouTube is the land of clickbait. You need to make people want to click on your video. He did later admit that he crossed the line with Grant Cardone and others in order to make his videos more clickbaity. And he once quoted Floyd Mayweather saying,
The haters will clip whatever they want. It's fine. Hey, you know what Mayweather said? I don't care if you say good things or bad things about me as long as you're talking about me. That's working. All the haters are talking about me. So views are up.
But the biggest run-up in Kevin's career happened in the early 2020s when he took the opportunity to cover stimulus check videos. He made multiple videos a day, often going live for hours. In 2020, the stock markets experienced an unusual parabolic bull market after the markets had crashed. Everyone looked like an expert. There were so many charlatans and YouTubers and kids that had never traded in the market before that started to make more money in a month than they had made in their entire lives by just selling courses and getting YouTube ad revenue. But it is only when the tide goes out that you can really see who was naked and faking it all along. In 2021, going off of Kevin's numbers, he potentially lost $21 million in stocks in a few months' time.
This is a signal of the freaking bottom. This is a signal of the bottom. Be careful with margin, but I am bullish on this market. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not effing leaving.
Kevin also responded to people who sold or talked about the overpriced market by calling it FUD and calling them weenie babies.
And that's it. Our economy is going to zero. We're screwed. We're done. It's over. Look at this, folks. While I am filming this video, here's someone on CNBC warning for big tech investors see 50% plus plunge. Oh my gosh, more sell-offs, right?
On January 24th, he made a video saying that he was buying stocks, but to everyone's shock, he sold 99% of his $20 million stock portfolio and cryptocurrencies almost overnight after making that video. So meet Kevin. In the past year, he's really kind of seen no growth. You see on the charts here that his YouTube, he took down a lot of his videos. This was around the time there was some litigation going on when he was running for governor. He was asking for funds, and he has a fund. He's now a financial advisor. He is licensed. So he did take a lot of videos down, but now he really is trying to go out of the way and really cover everything in the entire media. And, you know, with this channel now having 5,000 videos with close to now 687 million views, that's only about 137,000 average per video. And a lot of the times he's putting out multiple videos a day. This guy's work ethic is phenomenal. But the problem is a lot of people don't buy it. A lot of the stuff he talks about now, it's just clickbait a lot of times. And if you look at it, a lot of his videos, he knew real estate. This is where his foundation was. His highest viewed videos, 2 million views here. How to buy your first rental property. How I turned 10,500 into 210,000 at 19. And these things were authentic. He knew real estate. He worked really hard, got his license, and was, you know, with all the preparation, he had luck, the timing. In the housing market at the time, especially in California, things were very low, things were cheap after the crisis, and he was able to buy up a lot of properties. And his wife and her family, who has real estate, really kind of brought him in and helped him out along the way as well. So this was something that really kind of propelled him. But when he switched to stocks, as you've seen before, what we talked about, he really had to learn things along the way. It was during, 2020, everyone was at home, everyone wanted to use their stimulus check for investing. And this was something that he was making $3 million a month at one point. Now, if you look, he's now has a private jet. And I think the real problem is people don't really find him authentic. The biggest people that are growing now on YouTube, people are done with the ads. They're done with these fake people, the people that don't really relate to them, the people that are having private jets now. Like, you went from being a guy that was working out of your truck as a real estate, investor, and now you have a private jet. And there's nothing wrong with having a private jet, but when you take that route and you show that, a lot of people just can't relate anymore. And it just doesn't feel like they are going to find value in that anymore. We can see this video that when we look at this, a lot of people, the comments are, very negative, and he's had some problems with this. There was a, arrest, a DUI. There was some litigation issues about, finance funding for when he was running for governor. And there's going to be haters along the way. But I think if you look at people like Asmongold, okay, who has a lot of commentary, does the same thing meetkevin's doing, he has almost as many views just this year than meetkevin has on his entire channel, which meetkevin was putting out 5, 10, 15 videos a day during the 2020 run, and everyone was watching them, okay? But someone like Asmongold, who really does feel relatable, people do want to listen to him. And someone like Queso, someone who I actually look up to, I think's very inspirational, who has not changed, who still has the same cheap webcam that he's had since the beginning, and really keeps it real, still lives in his trailer, and doesn't flaunt money as much. He doesn't really talk about it. And this literally shows in the last 6 months, he's got almost as much views as meetkevin has across his entire literally platform, and 3 million subscribers. And this was 6 months too. This Asmongold was literally 6 months. So if you look at this, that's where things are going, I think, not only on YouTube, but if you really want to build a community, you got to be authentic. You can't have a private jet. I mean, you attract, more than likely, a lot of the people you're attracting, when they see that, they're going to hate. And a lot of the people also are going to find a reason why they believe that you do not deserve that jet. They believe that you might have got everything you've had by making clickbait videos and getting people to pay you a lot of money. Now, if you look at meetkevin's website, this is now updated, and some of his courses are literally $20,000 for this. For some of these courses, they are literally $20,000. Look at this right here. The Diamond, $19,980 for this. That's one. And there are hundreds of people that are buying these, thousands. If you go to his Discord, you can see there are thousands, tens of thousands of people that have done this. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a course, but this is coming from a guy that really knew nothing about stocks, that's now selling stock courses in a very short amount of time. Now, Kevin has got one of his license for being a securities law exam, which is Series 65. He now has his own fund, PP, which is actually pretty flat for the past year. And this is an ETF, and its market cap right now, I think it's around, looks like it's, 30 or 40 million in net assets. So we have someone like that has got one license, and then you've got someone like Keith Gill. Everyone knows Roaring Kitty. This was a guy that turned 53,000 into, from GameStop, almost 800 million at one point. He's got the Series 63, 65, SIE, Series 7, Series 3, Series 24, And this is someone who really does know stocks. Not saying that Meet Kevin doesn't know what he's doing, because he's executed one of the greatest marketing campaigns at the greatest time in history. When Meet Kevin was making these videos on YouTube, thousands and thousands of videos during this time, he was able to monetize off that. But someone like Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, was making videos on undervalued stocks and investing in the market in 2020. A very small amount of money, but that immensely turned into $800 million at one point. And Keith Gill is still one of the most authentic people. His latest video, he was literally had long hair just like this, literally the same look, background, was not in a private jet, nothing. This is someone who could have multiple private jets if he had sold that 820 million at that point. And this is someone who they can relate to. But I think the problem with Meet Kevin is he flaunts these things to try to get the views. And unfortunately, it brings people down in some ways, because this is someone who went from making these videos where it was him in your face talking to you with little cuts, and now everything just feels like it's an ad, a commercial trying to sell you a course. And a lot of the people that are real and authentic and really present themselves, and they're getting the views now, and they're also getting a good community that really does support them. If something happens, they're there. But I think that in the future, you're going to see YouTube kind of shift from this, where people are going to be more authentic. Someone like in the video with Logan Paul, we talked about one of the highest subscribed YouTubers. He really hasn't grown on YouTube. He hasn't really done anything. He joined the WWE and everything. And this is something that, there's other YouTubers, PewDiePie, and, these great YouTubers in the past that are kind of like stagnant now. And PewDiePie is one of the ones that is in that area where he's essentially retired, but people can still relate to him. You don't see him driving around in a Bugatti or something, and he has somewhat of a modest house. And I think that is one of the approaches. Being humble, having humility is one of the great things I think that could really help you along the way. And I definitely want to keep that in mind as I grow on YouTube as well. And I've been at this since 2006. I've had a YouTube channel, and my goal is to get this YouTube channel to 1 million subscribers. And if we do that, we will be the oldest and longest YouTube channel to reach 1 million subscribers that's still active. So it actually is going to be a world record if this channel ever gets to 1 million. But I just want to be real. I want to help people out. I want to, talk about these things. I want to look into it. And, it's inspirational that someone like this, that doesn't know anything about stocks can literally create a channel, talk about stocks, and the world literally listens to him. He's on MSNBC talking and giving his take. And this is someone who wasn't licensed at the time and, learned on the job. And that's what's great, I think, about social media. And it's kind of sad to see channels. I wish everyone could thrive, but it's not that he's not making money. You can see this. This is around average. Now, in the finance space, the CPM and RPM is very, very high. Especially some of his sponsors were paying him $20,000 to $100,000 per video at one point. With the FTX scandals, it was literally like $100,000 he was getting paid in some of those. So you see, like, his consistency the last year has literally been up and down when he put those videos back. But the consistency of videos is still there. But it's not just about stocks, finance, real estate. It's about everything. And unfortunately, the 2 million people that follow him usually want to only hear about stocks or real estate, mainly real estate. I'd say half of his followers want to hear real estate. And unfortunately, that real estate market is at its peak right now. And when rates come down, we'll have to see what happens to the housing prices, because right now it's in a weird place. But a lot of his videos are, in a sense, what people call fear mongering lately, and just, catchy titles. And unfortunately, when people click on it, they usually are probably disappointed. But like I said, the revenue can still be here. You can still make, doing this, getting 21 million views in 3 months, you can still make good amount of change. Nothing like he was making in 2020. And you know, that's just the name of the game. 28 days, 11,000 to 32,000 with sponsors. Cause I know he runs sponsors and stuff. He's probably making a month close to 30, 40,000, maybe way more with if he has a sponsor. But yes, that's one of the problems with YouTube, with Logan Paul, with these people. They do end up getting to a point where they just can't relate to the audience anymore. Now, it doesn't mean you can't live a nice lifestyle, but people put on a personality usually in front of the camera, especially on YouTube. And, you know, it gets to a lot of people. And that's something that I think that we as consumers, we often look at these people and we might put them on a high pedestal. But a lot of times that's really not even who the people are in real life. And when they start to, in a sense, sell out and they are promoting things that's just weird outside of their realm as well, you usually see channels go downhill. But like I said, people like Asmongold, you don't see him driving a private jet. Queso, I don't think you'll ever see that guy driving anything other than a Ford truck. He's literally said it. And this is someone, Queso, who is making millions of dollars a month now. And he's getting more views than PewDiePie has this entire year. Queso has. And more people watch Queso game live than when PewDiePie goes live. And you would think that a lot of, 100 million people of PewDiePie's would want to go watch him, right? Because PewDiePie has pretty much been the king of the gaming on YouTube for like a decade, right? Over a decade. And now it's only 10 to 20,000 people will tune in. You got an average 50 to 100,000 watching Queso. It's because I really think that you got to obviously be consistent, and all these people have been consistent that we've just talked about, but you got to stay true to yourself. And I'm going to hold myself to that too. I really want to learn. I want people, if you really want to make a YouTube and you've been doing it as long as I have on different platforms and different mediums, then you can do it. You just have to stay true to yourself. Don't sell out. And if you do have nice things, try not to flaunt them. Nobody wants to see the pastor driving a Rolls Royce when they're talking about giving them money and all these things. It's just not right. And there's too much in the world, too many people in poverty, to have that on there. And no one really cares about seeing that. Your audience is probably not going to be very good if you are attracting people that only want to watch your stuff because you're flying literally in a private jet. Now, I do hope Kevin Paffrath can change ways. I think that he's done something on YouTube that's pretty phenomenal. No one has ever done that. Bring in like 58 million in a year, just from YouTube, pretty much alone. You leveraging that and utilizing, subscribers. Some of the ways, some people might think it's a negative thing, but I mean, there was probably value there at one point. Especially the real estate stuff. A lot of the stuff, real estate has gone up a lot since he started talking about it. Stocks have too, but I think the biggest thing to take away is to be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. And if you do want to learn stocks, like he obviously did, he literally said in his video, he didn't know about stocks. The time came when everyone was wanting to learn about stocks, and he learned on the job and just was the guy talking about it. But I really think Kevin could have close to 4 million followers, double the amount of followers, if he didn't let it get to him. I think one of the other problems was he let everything get to him. He let the comments get to him. He had some other problems with drinking and doing some other things that, it's stressful doing this. It is stressful. Having myself just done YouTube, been in the slumps where you don't have viewers on certain channels, and your competition now becomes a corporation, people that have access to capital, that have jets, that are competing and making the same content as you. How can you compete against that? The only way now you can compete against that is to be authentic. Will Smith is learning from social media people who I never heard of how to make social media content. Okay. This is someone who's won an Oscar, who's acted all their life pretty much, right? Who everyone around the world pretty much knows. And Yet they're talking to young influencers and studying them on how to grow. And some of these influencers you never heard of, but they might have 50 million followers, 100 million followers. But that's kind of where we're going, I think, with Will Smith and a lot of these Hollywood players, this new generation, alpha and beta, they don't really care about celebrities as much anymore because they might not even watch those movies anymore. And that's the thing. We grew up with all of these people, Will Smith, we grew up with these great actors that, you know, with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Bad Boys, these movies, I Am Legend, it felt like we knew them, right? But now people like Queso and Asmongold, they are literally in people's living rooms every night. And these people aren't doing a 3-minute ad. Their video on YouTube is not a 3-minute ad like a lot of the people that have gone downhill. They're watching these people for hours and hours and hours a day live. Queso sometimes was going live for 5 hours. And people really feel like they are becoming a family almost to them because they are with them that much. And so these kids that are growing up now, they look up more to people on social media. So you have now actors, A-list actors that are now looking to social media influencers on how they can build. And now you see all of these A-list actors trying to be real on social media, but it's just not working. It doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't mean you have to be poor. It doesn't mean you have to, you know, pretend to be just humble and, you know, drive a Honda, even if you're a billionaire. No, you don't have to do that, but you need to feel authentic. And you got to stick with what you're good at and what you love, because people can really see that when you're making videos potentially that Kevin has done on just what the pop media, they don't get as much views. If it's just politics, like people probably don't want to really hear him about politics. They don't want to see politics. There's so much out there already in the news and politics and those type of things that unfortunately that's the stuff he's covering. And if he likes it, he likes it. But you know, these views are not as much as he was getting back in the day. And I think someone like this, I love when people have a good story arc, you know. That's one of the reasons I think a lot of his views was because he was having some issues. You know, he got arrested, he was drunk or a DUI, and people were talking bad about him, and he was eating it up. He was utilizing it. At one point he colored his hair. I mean, but this is a guy that you just got to say, like, he puts in the effort. But a lot of his videos, like, look, like even Kevin, a lot of his videos, they're not as long anymore. I mean, 12 minutes. It's not something like Queso was doing with you're with them for so long. And at one point when during the 2020, you know, rush of everything, he was live, I think, for 4 or 5 hours. So he was doing that. And I think that's what really an audience craves. They feel more authentic. They want to support you more. Hit that like and definitely subscribe down below.